Welcome to our Creative Memories Craft Along. I'm Judy Gill, and I'm so excited that you're here joining me. We're going to do two-page layouts today. Everything is included in your kit. If you didn't get a kit and you would still like one, I do have some left, so they're $20. Or if you want an extra one, if you just want to do it again or give it as a gift, whatever. This kit is designed so that you can do it with what I have given you, or you can do it with whatever papers that you have in your stash, okay? And I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've done at the end of the video. You'll need a 12-inch trimmer, and I'm going to be using our Creative Memory ones because it has some special things in it. And if you want that, you can order that from me. Just let me know. And if you already have it, please post in the comments how much you like it. Okay, I'm also going to be using our Creative Memories repositionable tape, and I use that a lot in these kind of things because if I want to change my mats around later when I actually am doing pictures, if I don't like the direction of the mats or whatever, or if I don't want a mat where it's at, I can reposition, I can move it around. So that's why I use the repositionable tape on these things. Let's see. Okay, I guess that's all I have. So let's get started. We have in our kit, this is what we're going to make. And you've seen pictures already on the website, I'm sure, when you signed up. This is one of the pages we're going to be doing. And this is the other page we're going to be doing. Okay? And you have all the directions and everything in your packet. Now, what you have in your kit is directions. This is a cutting guide to tell you how to cut. And these are the page layouts, so these are the pictures of what the page is going to look like when you get finished. There's also the paper that you need. There's two of each paper, of each designer paper. And then there is cardstock, 2 pieces of cardstock. And we're going to be using everything in this kit to be able to do this recipe. You also have a strip of stickers. And we're going to be using most of those. And you have a couple extra special things that I put in your kit. One is some embellishments, a little package of embellishments, and they're really cute. And then this is a sketchbook. So this has different ideas and it shows you a different sketch, and then it shows you something that somebody has already done with it. And you can, again, you can use these sketches just like the recipe, so you can make lots of different things with them. Okay, so we're going to set aside this because this is the picture. We're not going to need it till we get everything cut. And then we're going to look at our cutting guide. So our cutting guide, let's go through our paper first. We're going to be using this piece. This is going to be a background, so we're going to set that aside. This one, we're going to be using both sides. We're going to cut from the quilt. This is the quilt green. That's designer paper 2. This paper, we're going to use the black part. That's going to be the background of 2 sheets of paper. We're going to set that aside. We're not going to need it. This one is the watercolor paper. That's designer paper 3. And this one is this on this side and the watercolor on the back. We're going to be using that. That's designer paper 1. So we have designer paper 1, designer paper 2. I'm sorry, this is 1, this is 2. Our dark green cardstock is the cutting guide for number 3. And then we have the designer paper 4. That's our watercolor, and then our aqua cardstock. And that's the direction, that's the way we're going to cut them. So we're setting these 3 pieces aside because these 3 pieces are going to be used for our background later. Okay, our cutting guide now. The first paper on the cutting guide is designer paper number 1, and that one looks like this. This is also the watercolor paper on the back. Now the watercolor paper is directional. If you don't cut this right, C will not be right. So we want to make sure, so we're going to cut from, even though the directions say we're going to use this side, we want to cut from this side so that we have it in the right direction. So we're going to cut starting at 4 inches. And that 4-inch piece we're going to turn horizontally, and we're going to cut this 6 inches. We're going to label those A and B. Just label them lightly so that you can erase it later. So we've got A and B set aside. Then our other piece, we're going to cut at 4.5. That 4.5 piece, we're going to turn horizontally and cut at 4 inches. That small piece is going to be C. The other long piece is going to be D. This long strip, we're going to be using this side of it, it's going to be E. And then we're going to move on to our next cut. Our next cut is with the green quilt. That's going to be at 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches, you can cut from this side, but there's not as much paper to hang on to. So with our trimmer, I like to cut it from this side. So I'm going to measure 1.5 on this side. Excuse me. And cut another 1.5. Those two 1.5 pieces I'm going to put together, and I'm going to cut those at 6 inches. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that, you can do them separately. Then I'm going to put all 4 of those together and match them up really well. And I did not cut that at 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut at 45-degree angles. So I'm going to put that on a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to put cut that this way. And you're going to save these little guys. You're going to need those later. And then turn this up this way and put your cutting guide or cutting line on here. Since I didn't cut those right, I'm going to trim this off. I'm not sure. I didn't have them stacked right, I guess. And I'm going to stack that. So I just cut this way. Now I'm going to flip them over this way. And I'm going to put them back on the 45-degree angle, and I'm going to put my point right here on the cutting line. So this is my cutting line, and my point goes right here. And then I'm going to trim that off. The only difference in this is when I put these on, they're going to be a little bit shorter, but I don't think you'll even know the difference. So those are F, G, H, and I. Okay, back to this piece. I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. I'm going to turn that 4-inch piece horizontally and cut at 5.5. Now our Creative Memory trimmer makes it easy for you, so just line this up with the edge of the trimmer, and that's 5.5 inches. And then do the same thing with that one. So we have 2 5.5-inch cuts, and this piece right here is going to be left over. We're not going to need it, so we're just going to put it up. And this is J and K. So we have J and K. And then going back to this piece, this should be 5 inches. So we're going to turn this sideways and cut at 6 inches. Yeah, 6 inches. That piece will be left over, and this piece will be labeled L. Then we're going to go to our dark sea green paper. That's cut number 3. We're going to cut at 2.5 inches. So we have 2.5 inches. That 2.5-inch piece we're going to turn sideways and cut at 6 inches. So we're making 2 6-inch pieces. And those pieces are going to be labeled M&M. Back to our big sheet, we're going to cut 1 inch off. So the 1 inch I'm going to cut off on this side. And that's going to be O. This is going to be a connector piece. And I'm going to show you what that means in a bit. All right, so this piece should be 8.5 inches. I'm going to turn this sideways and cut at 7 inches. And this big piece is R. This piece I'm going to turn sideways. It should be 5 inches. I'm going to turn it sideways and cut at 3 3/4 inches. And I need 2 of those at 3 3/4 inches. So 3 3/4 inches. And this little piece is going to be left over. We can toss that away. So I need P and Q. And then I'm going to the next piece of paper we're going to cut. This is our designer paper. This is watercolor. Remember, it's directional, so we want it to go horizontally. So we're going to cut 4.5 inches. Turn that piece sideways and cut at 4 inches. And then we need another 4 inches. And those are going to be S, T, and U. and U. Going back to our big piece, we want this to be 6 inches. So cut that at 6 inches. That 6 by 12 inch piece is V. And the piece that we have left over should be 1.5 inches, and it's W. Then our aqua cardstock, which is our last cut, we're going to cut that at 6 inches. That piece is X. Then we're going to cut at 4 inches. We're going to turn that 4-inch piece horizontally and cut at 5.5. Remember, that's right at the edge of the trimmer, so we just cut that at 5.5, and another one at 5.5, right at the edge of the trimmer. And this piece is left over, so we can toss that aside, and we have P and Q. And our last strip should be 2 inches. We're going to turn that sideways and cut at 5. The long piece is going to be left over, and the small piece is going to be AA. And we are through with our cuts. Now we're going to start putting things together. Let's look at spread A, or spread 1. Spread 1, we're going to need, this piece right here is going to be our left side. And then we're going to need, for the right side, we're going to need V and X. So here's V, and here's X. This is V and this is X, actually. And we're going to, and we also need O. O is, remember I told you that was a connector piece? And this is what I mean by connector piece. What we're going to do is put these two pieces together. We're conserving paper instead of using one of these and then putting, you know, another sheet on top of it like this. We're going to use 2 pieces, and we're going to put those together to make a 12-inch piece. We're going to do that this way. We're going to put tape on our connector piece. I'm going to put the connector piece right in the middle, and I use my mat for this so I can see it really easily. And then I put my V right in the middle, and I'm going to put it right on the edge of my mat. Move it up a little bit. There we go. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. So that side should just be butted right up against it. And that should line up on my mat so that I have a 12-inch piece of paper. You can do that with a 12-inch piece of paper too. So you could take this piece of paper and put these 2 pieces on top of it and make that into a 12-inch paper. I like to use the mat. It's a little bit easier with the mat. So I'm just going to add those. So that's my right side, and this is my left side. So now I'm going to take on my right side, I'm going to take R, which was this piece right here, and put it right up against the edge of the paper. AA is this piece here, goes right here at the edge of the paper. And then we need FF, which is in this piece right here. And if you want to use that side, you can. FF just goes in the center of that like that. And then JJ are these 2 pieces right here. And those go in here like that. Okay, for the other side, we're going to start with W, which is this watercolor piece. It goes right here. E is our white piece. It's the watercolor piece. We're going to put that right against that. And before I do anything else with this one, I'm going to use the stickers. So I'm going to take the stickers and I'm going to put this strip right here. I'm going to take that and put it right here. Actually, I guess I can do that. I forget. Hopefully this is... Okay, so that goes right there. And then my other watercolor piece, which is D, Goes right there, right up against that. Let's see, is that P and Q? Can't see my labels. P and Q goes right here. P goes here. P goes here, and if you don't like those on top of each other, you can do something else with them. And then Y and Z. Goes here and here. And this is why I like repositionable tape, because I can move that, because I didn't get it right where I wanted it. And that's what I have here. Now, for this side, they have used the word cheers. So from your stickers, you can use these words cheers right here, and they put that right here. And then they use some of the stickers, and you can kind of follow the picture here as to how they did that. And that's page 1. Layout 2 looks like this. We're going to start with these two. Flip that over so I can see layout 2. I'm going to start with layout 2. I'm going to put layout 2 right here on. I'm going to start with these two pieces right here. This is M&M. I want those to be in the middle. So I'm going to look on my mat and I'm going to find the middle. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. You can eyeball it if you want to, but this is just an easy way to get them in the middle. And then this one I just want to be the same as this one. The mat works great for putting things in the middle. All right, now these pieces that I cut wrong, I don't think you're going to know the difference, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to put one of these, because what you're doing is putting the corner right here, and I just need to move that over a little bit further. Well, there we go. And then these little guys that I told you not to throw away, those go in the corner here. See, and the only difference from the way I cut, from the way these were cut, I just trimmed a little bit off, so there's not quite as much space in between here and here as there would be if I had cut it right. Okay, then this one I'm going to turn upside down, and I'm going to put up here at the top. And then this one gets turned up this way and goes here. Now, if you want these all to be the same, you can certainly put them the same. So if you want all 4 of these to be the same, you can certainly do that. This is your paper. You can do it however you want to. This is just the recipe. But recipes, like I tell everybody, are made to be changed. How many of you make a recipe and follow it by the book and never make any changes? I know some of you do, because I've talked to some of you that never make a change. But I very seldom follow things as they are because I mess up. Okay, one more triangle here. And if you have not watched my video on how to use the personal trimmer, or our 12-inch trimmer, that's still on in the volume event page, so you can check that out and look at those anytime you want to, and that will give you lots of ideas on using the trimmer. Okay, these two, this is A and B, and I don't know if you've noticed what I do, but I tape more than one thing at a time so that it goes a little bit faster. Okay, and then I need S, T, U, and then C. So I'm going to flip all those over, and I'm going to tape all of them. And then I'm going to put them down. And we are finished with that. Now, to add some other things to it, if you want to add some little triangles, you can add two of the same. You can add two different ones. You can add the words, where's the stickers? On here, they use the word smile, and they put smile on here. And then they put some stickers. There's lots of stickers. You could also, you've got a pack of embellishments, you could use your embellishments. Now, they didn't use the embellishments on this page, but you can certainly do that. So you can make these however you want to. These are your pages. It's your recipe, and that's what I have. Now, here are some pages that I have done. Here is, those are some more of these that I have done. These are some variations. So these, you know, for whatever reason, I cut them wrong probably. And so I just made my own thing with it. So you can do that. Here's another one. I used some pop-up squares. So we are some foam squares. We got some foam squares, which are basically pop-up dots. So I popped some of these up and I rearranged things. So that's some different, just some different layouts using the very same project recipe, the same pattern. And this I used some of the embellishments out of the embellishment kit. These pages are different variations that I have done. This one uses the Croptoberfest kit. Now I have some other kits. I have the Croptoberfest kit from last fall. I have Croptoberfest from the fall before that. I have National Scrapbook Day kit from, you know, years past. I have lots of different kits that give you different colors and different themes. So if you want any of those are really easy to do, and I have those in a special. You buy 3 and you get 1 free. And those are the same thing. You have a kit, you have all the paper and instructions. Now I have used the same instructions that I just used for the kit that I just showed you for this kit, just to show you what can be done and how different it looks using just different paper. This one uses the Emerald Gemstone, which is one of our newer papers. And I just love that. And here I use the pop-ups, the foam squares. This one uses Simply Sunshine. This is one of my favorite paper packs. And the embellishments in this pack are just darling. And you can see, you know, I've used the same pattern. I've used the same cutting guide, but how different they look just with different papers. So you can use these with whatever paper that you have or with any of our kits. This is our boho collection. And I love the embellishments with this kit. This is Party Time Bright. This is Party Time Fasta Fabulous pages. We have pages that we call Fasta Fabulous that are already pre-decorated for you. All you have to do is add things to them. This one, this page looked like this, and it had the little sparkles in the back. For this one, I used, this is some of the embellishments I used for this. I didn't do these corners, all the corners. I did them in the bottom. So it gives you a whole different look. But these are just really, really fun ways to use our system and our project recipes. So I hope you enjoyed that, and please check out the album. At the top of the volume group, there's a little thing that says volumes. It may say media, and then you might find albums under that. I have lots of Creative Memory albums with the albums that I have, with paper that I have, you know, all the products that we have, and I'm going to be doing a shorter video on our new circle cutter, so you might want to watch out for that. But I've enjoyed having you, and thanks for being here. Thanks. Bye-bye.